My name is Sarah Whitlock, and I am 30 years old living in the beautiful, but often gray city of Seattle, Washington. For most of my life, I thought I had everything figured out because I worked hard as a senior marketing manager for a local firm, and I spent my weekends hiking the trails of the Pacific Northwest or exploring the hidden coffee shops of Capitol Hill. I always considered myself a rational and stable person who did not get caught up in drama or unnecessary conflict. My life was organized, and I had a clear path toward the future, which included my boyfriend of 5 years named Mark. Mark was a software engineer for one of the big tech companies in the city, and he was the person I thought I would grow old with. We shared a beautiful apartment overlooking the Puget Sound, and we had a routine that felt safe and comfortable. I loved the way the rain sounded against our windows while we sat on the couch reading books, and I loved the way we would wake up early on Saturdays to go to the farmer's market. However, things began to change about 6 months ago in ways that I did not want to admit at first. Mark started working late almost every night, and he became very protective of his phone, which was a huge shift from our previous transparency. I tried to tell myself that he was just stressed with a new project or that I was being paranoid because of the dark and dreary winter weather. I wanted to believe in our love more than I wanted to see the truth. The first real sign of trouble was when I found a receipt in his pocket for a jewelry store I had never visited and for a necklace that I never received. When I asked him about it, he laughed and said it was a gift for his sister's birthday, which seemed plausible at the time because I wanted it to be true. But then, the small lies started to pile up, like the time he said he was at the office, but his location on our shared app showed him at a high-end restaurant across town. I felt a pit in my stomach that would not go away, and I started to lose sleep. I found myself looking at him across the dinner table and wondering who he really was. My nemesis entered the picture not as a monster, but as a profile on a screen. Her name was Tiffany, and she was everything I was not. She was 24 years old and worked as a social media influencer, which meant her entire life was a curated collection of photos and videos. She was loud and vibrant, and she seemed to thrive on attention while I preferred the quiet corners of the world. I discovered her existence when a notification popped up on Mark's laptop while he was in the shower. It was a message from her saying that she missed him and could not wait for their next getaway. My heart shattered into a million pieces in that moment, and the world I had built felt like a house of cards falling down around me. I did not confront him right away because I wanted more information, and I wanted to see how deep the betrayal went. I started looking into Tiffany's social media, and I realized she was not just a random person, but someone who knew exactly who I was. She had even liked some of my old photos from years ago as if she were studying me. This felt like a personal attack on my dignity and my life. I felt small and insignificant compared to her bright and filtered world. I tried to solve the problem by being the perfect girlfriend and hoping he would choose me. I cooked his favorite meals, and I tried to be more exciting, and I even suggested we go on a vacation to reconnect. But the more I tried, the more he pulled away from me. He started gaslighting me and telling me that I was being too clingy and that I needed to get a hobby. He made me feel like I was the one who was failing at our relationship. This was the first hurdle I faced, and I failed it completely because you cannot win someone back who has already decided to leave you. The stakes grew higher when I found out through a mutual friend that Mark was planning on moving out and taking most of our shared savings to start a new life with Tiffany in Los Angeles. I felt like the floor had been pulled out from under me and I was falling into a dark abyss. I tried to confront Mark again, but he just laughed and told me that he was tired of my boring life and that Tiffany made him feel alive. He told me that I was 30 and washed up while she was young and had a future. Those words burned into my soul like acid. I felt as low as a person could go, and I spent several days crying in my office and barely able to do my work. I felt like a failure as a woman and as a partner. I was certain that all was lost and that I would end up alone in my apartment with nothing but memories of a man who did not love me. One night, while I was packing up some of his things, I found an old notebook of his that had fallen behind the desk. Inside the notebook were various passwords and login information for different accounts, including a shared social media management tool he had set up for Tiffany to help her grow her brand. He had always been the technical brains behind her operation, and he had access to everything. I realized that I had the keys to her digital kingdom right in my hands. At first, I was scared to do anything because I am a good person and I do not like to hurt people. But then I saw a post Tiffany made on her Facebook page. It was a photo of her and Mark on the beach, and the caption set out with the old and in with the new with a heart emoji. She was publicly mocking me and celebrating the destruction of my 5-year relationship. That was the moment something inside of me snapped. I realized that if I did not fight back, I would always be the victim in this story. I decided to use the login information to take back my power. I knew that Tiffany's entire career and identity were tied to her Facebook and Instagram accounts, because that is how she got brand deals and made money. Without her followers, she was nothing. I sat down at my computer with a cup of cold coffee and a heart full of cold fury. I logged into her account and I saw everything. I saw the messages between her and Mark where they laughed about how easy I was to trick. I saw her planning to take my furniture and my dog. The final attempt at solving my problem was not going to be a conversation or a plea for mercy. It was going to be a total digital annihilation. I started by changing the primary email address and the phone number associated with the account to a burner email I had created. Then I enabled two-factor authentication using a phone that she did not have access to. I was essentially locking her out of her own life. But I did not stop there, because simply deleting the account was not enough. I wanted it to be gone forever in a way that she could never recover it. I knew the Facebook terms of service very well because of my job in marketing. I knew exactly what kind of content would get an account permanently banned without any hope of appeal. I began to post things that were strictly forbidden, but I did it in a way that looked like she had lost her mind. I posted copyrighted material, and I used automated bots to generate thousands of fake likes and comments, which triggered the security systems of the platform. I also found a folder of messages where she had been talking badly about the brands she worked with and calling her followers names. I took screenshots of those and sent them to her biggest sponsors from an anonymous email address. I watched as her follower count began to fluctuate, and then suddenly the entire page went black. It was gone. I then moved on to the Instagram account, which was linked to the Facebook. I did the same thing there, and within an hour her entire digital presence had vanished as if she never existed. The consequence was immediate and chaotic. I heard Mark in the other room shouting because Tiffany was calling him in a panic. She was screaming that her accounts were gone and that her sponsors were canceling her contracts. Mark was trying to fix it, but because I had changed the recovery information, he could not get back in. He was a great engineer, but he could not hack through the security protocols I had set up using his own methods. He came into the living room looking disheveled and stressed, and he asked me if I knew anything about it. I looked him dead in the eyes, and I told him that I had no idea what he was talking about. I told him that maybe it was karma for being a terrible person. He spent the entire night trying to help her, but it was no use. The accounts were flagged for severe violations and were purged from the servers. Tiffany lost her income and her platform and her influence overnight. Without her money and her status, she became a very different person. She started taking her anger out on Mark, and they began to fight constantly. I moved out the next week, and I took my half of the savings before he could touch them. I found a small but beautiful apartment in a different neighborhood, and I started to rebuild my life. I felt a sense of peace that I had not felt in years. The revenge was poetic because she had used the internet to take my boyfriend, and I used the internet to take her career. A few months later, I heard that they had broken up because Mark could not handle her constant complaining, and she could not handle the fact that he was not rich enough to support her lifestyle. Mark tried to call me and apologize, but I did not answer. I blocked his number, and I moved on with my life. I am now dating a wonderful man who appreciates my stability and my intelligence. I still live in Seattle, and I still love the rain, but now when I hear it against the window, I do not feel sad. I feel powerful, and I feel free. The unexpected twist came a year later when I was at a marketing conference, and I saw Tiffany working as a server at the catering company. She did not recognize me because I had changed my hair, and I was wearing a confident smile that I never had when I was with Mark. She looked tired and ordinary, and I realized that the digital world she lived in was never real to begin with. I left her a very large tip because I could afford to be generous now that I was no longer a victim. I walked out into the Seattle mist feeling like the hero of my own story, and I knew that I would never let anyone make me feel small again. The city felt bigger and brighter than it ever had before, and I was finally happy. I realized that sometimes you have to break something down to build something better, and I had built a life that was finally my own. I have no regrets about what I did because it taught me that I am strong and that I have the power to change my own destiny. My name is Sarah Whitlock, and I am 31 years old now, and I have never been better. The silence of my new life is much better than the noise of my old one. I have learned that revenge is a dish best served with a clear head and a steady hand. I often think about that night at my computer, and I smile because it was the night I saved myself. Every time I see a Facebook ad or an Instagram post, I am reminded of my victory. I am no longer afraid of the dark or the rain or the future. I am the architect of my own happiness, and I am standing on solid ground. I have found new hobbies like painting and rock climbing that do not involve a screen. I have made new friends who value honesty and integrity over followers and likes. I have grown into the woman I was always meant to be, and it took a betrayal to get me here. I am grateful for the lessons I learned, even if they were painful to experience at the time. I know that I am worth more than a filtered photo or a temporary romance. I am a woman of substance, and I am proud of the person I have become. The streets of Seattle are full of stories, and mine is one of survival and strength. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am finally at peace. I spend my evenings now walking along the waterfront and watching the ferries go by. I think about how far I have come from that girl who cried in her office. I am a different person now, and I like this version of me much better. I have learned to trust my instincts and to never ignore the red flags again. My heart is whole, and my mind is clear. I have found beauty in the simple things like a good book and a warm cup of tea. I am no longer searching for validation from others because I have found it within myself. I am enough just as I am, and I do not need a man or a social media following to prove it. My life is rich and full, and I am excited for what the future holds. I have learned that the best revenge is living well, and I am doing exactly that. I am happy, and I am free, and I am finally home. The rain continues to fall in Seattle, but now it feels like a cleansing wash instead of a cold drown. I am safe and I am sound, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I look back on my time with Mark as a chapter in a book that I have finished reading. I have turned the page and started a new chapter, and this one is my favorite so far. I have found my voice, and I am not afraid to use it. I am strong, and I am resilient, and I am Sarah Whitlock. I have found that the most important relationship I will ever have is the one I have with myself. I have learned to love my own company and to cherish my own thoughts. I am no longer waiting for someone else to make me happy because I have realized that I am the only one who can do that. I have found joy in the quiet moments and strength in the loud ones. I am a woman who knows her worth, and I will never let anyone tell me otherwise. I am proud of the way I handled the situation, and I am proud of the life I have built. I am a survivor, and I am a winner. I have taken my life back, and I am never letting it go again. I am whole, and I am complete, and I am finally me. The city of Seattle is my home, and I am proud to be a part of it. I am a woman of the Pacific Northwest, and I am as strong as the mountains and as deep as the sea. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am here to stay. I have found my place in the world, and it is a beautiful place to be. I am grateful for every moment and every breath. I am alive, and I am well, and I am happy. The past is behind me, and the future is bright. I am walking into the light, and I am never looking back. I am free from the weight of the betrayal and the burden of the anger. I have let it all go, and I have found peace in the emptiness it left behind. I have filled that space with love and light and hope. I am a new person, and I am a better person. I have learned that you can lose everything and still find yourself. I have learned that the end of one thing is just the beginning of another. I am excited to see where this journey takes me, and I am ready for whatever comes next. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am standing tall. I am a beacon of strength and a symbol of resilience. I have overcome the odds, and I have emerged victorious. I am a woman who fought for herself and won. I am a woman who turned a tragedy into a triumph. I am a woman who knows who she is and what she wants. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am finally home. I have found that the most powerful thing you can be is yourself. I have found that the most important thing you can have is self-respect. I have found that the most beautiful thing you can do is forgive yourself. I have done all of these things, and I am better for it. I am at peace with my past, and I am excited for my future. I am a woman of grace and a woman of power. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am proud. I have learned that the truth always comes out, and that justice is always served in the end. I have seen it with my own eyes, and I have felt it in my own heart. I am a witness to the power of the truth and the strength of the spirit. I am a testament to the fact that you can start over and that you can be happy again. I am a living example of the beauty of a second chance. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am grateful. I have found that the best way to move on is to look forward. I have found that the best way to heal is to help others. I have found that the best way to live is to be kind. I am doing all of these things, and I am finding joy in every one of them. I am a woman of purpose and a woman of passion. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am here. I have found my voice, and I am using it to tell my story. I am hoping that my story will help someone else who is going through a hard time. I am hoping that my story will give someone else the courage to stand up for themselves. I am hoping that my story will show someone else that they are not alone. I am a woman of hope and a woman of light. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am shining. I have found that the most important thing is to never give up. I have found that the most important thing is to always believe in yourself. I have found that the most important thing is to keep moving forward. I am doing all of these things, and I am seeing the results. I am a woman of action and a woman of results. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am winning. I have found that the world is a big and beautiful place, and that there is so much to see and do. I have found that there is so much to learn and so much to grow. I am doing all of these things, and I am enjoying every minute of it. I am a woman of the world and a woman of growth. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am evolving. I have found that the best is yet to come, and that the future is full of possibilities. I have found that I am the only one who can decide my fate, and I have decided to be happy. I am a woman of destiny and a woman of choice. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am choosing happiness. I have found that the love I have for myself is the most important love of all. I have found that the peace I have in my heart is the most important peace of all. I have found that the light I have in my soul is the most important light of all. I am a woman of love and peace and light. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am complete. I have found that I am enough and that I have always been enough. I have found that I am worthy and that I have always been worthy. I have found that I am beautiful and that I have always been beautiful. I am a woman of worth and beauty. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am me. I have found my way, and I am following it with confidence and courage. I have found my truth, and I am living it with honesty and integrity. I have found my life, and I am loving it with all of my heart. I am a woman of life and truth. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am finally free. The rain has stopped, and the sun is coming out over the city of Seattle. I am standing on my balcony looking out at the world, and I am smiling. I am ready for whatever today brings, and I am excited for what tomorrow holds. I am a woman of the present and a woman of the future. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am just getting started. The story of my revenge is over, but the story of my life is just beginning. I am a woman who has found her way through the dark and into the light. I am a woman who has found her strength in her struggle. I am a woman who has found her peace in her pain. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am extraordinary. I have learned that the power to change your life is within you, and that you just have to be brave enough to use it. I have been brave, and I have changed my life. I am a woman of courage and change. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am proud of the woman I am today. The city of Seattle is waking up, and so am I. I am ready to face the world with a smile and a heart full of hope. I am a woman of hope and a woman of heart. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am blessed. I have found that the most important thing is to be true to yourself and to never compromise your values. I have been true to myself, and I have stayed true to my values. I am a woman of truth and values. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am authentic. I have found that the world is full of opportunities and that you just have to reach out and grab them. I have reached out, and I have grabbed my opportunities. I am a woman of opportunity and action. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am successful. I have found that the best way to live is to be grateful for everything you have and to never take anything for granted. I am grateful for everything I have, and I take nothing for granted. I am a woman of gratitude and appreciation. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am happy. The journey has been long and the road has been rough, but I have made it to the other side. I am a woman of endurance and a woman of strength. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am a survivor. I have found that the most important thing is to never let anyone else define who you are. I have defined myself, and I am proud of the person I have chosen to be. I am a woman of definition and identity. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am unique. I have found that the power of the human spirit is incredible and that you can overcome anything if you believe in yourself. I have believed in myself, and I have overcome. I am a woman of spirit and belief. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am powerful. The sun is shining bright now, and the city is full of life. I am a part of that life, and I am happy to be here. I am a woman of the city and a woman of life. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am here. I have found my voice, and I am speaking my truth. I am a woman of voice and truth. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am heard. I have found my path, and I am walking it with pride. I am a woman of path and pride. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am moving forward. I have found my peace, and I am cherishing it with every breath. I am a woman of peace and breath. I am Sarah Whitlock and I am calm. I have found my light and I am letting it shine for all the world to see. I am a woman of light and visibility. I am Sarah Whitlock and I am glowing. I have found my life and I am living it to the fullest. I am a woman of life and fullness. I am Sarah Whitlock and I am alive. I have found my joy and I am sharing it with everyone I meet. I am a woman of joy and sharing. I am Sarah Whitlock and I am happy. I have found my strength and I am using it to build a better future. I am a woman of strength and future. I am Sarah Whitlock and I am building. I have found my hope and I am holding on to it with everything I have. I am a woman of hope and holding. I am Sarah Whitlock and I am strong. I have found my love and I am giving it to myself and to others. I am a woman of love and giving. I am Sarah Whitlock and I am loved. I have found my peace and I am keeping it in my heart forever. I am a woman of peace and heart. I am Sarah Whitlock and I am at home. My journey through the shadows of betrayal has brought me to the sunrise of a new beginning, and I am ready to embrace every moment of it. I have learned that the scars we carry are not signs of weakness, but symbols of the battles we have won. I am a woman of victory, and I am a woman of grace. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am whole. The streets of Seattle are calling to me, and I am ready to answer with a heart that is open and a spirit that is free. I am a woman of the streets and a woman of the spirit. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am free. I have found that the most important thing is to be kind to yourself and to others, and I am doing my best to be kind every single day. I am a woman of kindness and compassion. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am good. I have found that the world is a beautiful place, and I am so glad to be a part of it. I am a woman of beauty and gladness. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am here to stay. I have found my place, and I am never letting it go. I am a woman of place and belonging. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I belong. I have found my purpose, and I am living it with every fiber of my being. I am a woman of purpose and living. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am meaningful. I have found my truth, and I am telling it to the world. I am a woman of truth and telling. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am real. I have found my life, and I am loving it with all of my heart. I am a woman of life and heart. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am happy. The end of this story is just the beginning of my life, and I am so excited to see what happens next. I am a woman of beginnings and excitement. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am ready. I have found my peace, and I am keeping it forever. I am a woman of peace and forever. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am home. I have found my light, and I am letting it shine. I am a woman of light and shining. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am me. The rain is gone, and the sky is blue, and I am finally where I am meant to be. I am a woman of the sky and the blue. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am beautiful. I have found my way, and I am following it to the end. I am a woman of way and end. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am finished. No, I am just starting. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am everything I was meant to be. I am the hero of my own story, and I am living happily ever after. I have taken my revenge, and I have found my peace, and that is the best ending of all. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am at peace. I have learned that the power of a woman who knows her worth is unstoppable, and I am an unstoppable woman. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am powerful. I am a woman of power and worth. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am enough. I am a woman of enough, and I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am here. I am a woman of here and now. I am Sarah Whitlock, and I am me.